Hey, look who's here. It's time for the Digital Foyer. Welcome. I am Matt Vaughn, the communications coordinator here and the host of the Digital Foyer. And today I am joined by our two priests here at the parish. I have on my right Father Simon Lobo, celebrant, waver of people, and Father Alex Kaladi, our homilist, our preacher, our sermonizer, our hang ten gentleman, surfer. Have you ever surfed before?
Yes, I love surfing. I'm not good at it, but
that's good. Well, it's beautiful.
You're a pro surfer.
I love things people are
Father
good at.
Simon and I have been surfing together, actually.
Yes. I knew that. I guess I knew that you surfed. So who's better at surfing?
Definitely Father Simon. Definitely Father Simon.
I am less bad at surfing than Father Alex.
That's a good way of putting it. That's a good way of putting it.
Considerably less bad.
Right.
Marginally less bad. We're both really brutal.
So you guys
hard. It's harder than it looks.
Have you surfed here, like in Nova Scotia? Because I know you guys have gone. You guys have brother priests in on the Gulf Coast in the U.S. that they have kind of more
Houston,
gnarly
Galveston.
waves. Can I say gnarly? I don't know if I can.
Gnarly.
But yeah, so you've gone there.
I've actually been surfing with the YouTube sensation Father Mark Goring in Galveston, Texas. So I don't know if that
has he ever
gives
done
me
a
any
video
speaking.
from his surfboard?
I'm sure he
should.
has. I don't know.
I don't think
riding
so.
a wave,
Yeah,
I don't
that's
know
a little
about that.
risky with that technology.
Well, GoPros and things like that. I
Yeah.
feel like technology's ready for him to do that.
It's time.
Or the
time.
other alternative would be to have somebody like Father Mark, or even yourselves on the front of the surfboard, or on the back of the surfboard.
Yeah.
And then on the front, you get someone like our Nathan, our camera guy,
Yeah.
to be there
That'd
doing
be
that, and maybe
sweet.
he can also hang 10.
Yeah, and then you could do a tandem surf.
No, is that hang 20? I don't know exactly. Did a little surf move there. So Digital Foyer, this is a time for you to ask some questions. We love to hear what they are, and then that way we can ask the priest and you can get some answers. Anyway, that's what this is all about, a little conversation between them and you via me, I guess.
Check this out. I have the pastor tag.
You're the pastor tag?
I'm on like
Did
St.
you know you were a
Benedict
pastor?
I am the pastor.
You are the
turns out,
pastor
even online. That's sweet. I don't know who did that to me, but thank you.
Great question here from Marissa, who asks a very relevant question. Who is the better soccer player, Father Simon or Father Alex? You guys play a lot. I don't know how you determine. Is that by number of goals? Is there assists? I don't know.
Father Alex is definitely less bad than me at soccer. Definitely, by a significant margin.
Do you agree? Is that too humble
Father
for you to say?
Simon's, he's getting over the hill, so he's a little slower out there these days, you know. And I've got the I got the fresh legs on him. So I'd say that's the main difference.
What's kind of cool is a couple of the guys who we actually play with might be watching right now. So Joe, if you're watching,
Joe,
shout out to you, buddy. Thanks for organizing. We love it. It's
maybe they can just tell us the truth. Just say who's objective opinion.
If you have an opinion on who's better, Father Alex or me, go ahead and type it right into the chat. Then we'll know.
Let's vote.
That's great. I have a question here from, what's the name here? From Rena, asking if you can, Father Alex, if you can explain the symbolism on your chasuble here. I think I'm seeing kind of an alpha and omega. Is that what I'm seeing?
Yeah,
okay.
Alpha and Omega with the cross in the middle. So Alpha and Omega, Jesus in the book of Revelations, he says, I am the Alpha and the Omega. That's the first letter of the Greek alphabet and the last letter of the Greek alphabet. That's the alphabet that would have been in common use at the time. And it represents that Jesus is the beginning and the end of all things. Like all things came to be through him, and he's toward the ultimate goal of all creation, our lives.
So I'm hearing you say that Alpha is the beginning, and I feel like Father Simon wanted to give a shout out to people from Alpha.
Yeah, I actually do. I was typing in the wrong chat to do that very thing, where I have the pastor badge. But yes, if you've been joining us for any of the Alpha journey, I mean ever, but especially most recently and yesterday, today, you've been on this Alpha weekend. I hope you're having a blast. It's been really powerful for me personally, and I just love the people in Table 3 Wednesday night. Shout out to you guys specifically. But you might actually recognize these characters because we heard a talk from none other than Matt Vaughn Saturday morning.
And Matthew, Gift of God.
Matthew.
Right, that's right.
Gift of God. Matt, a lot of love for you yesterday.
Oh, thank gosh, that's great.
Seriously, you're just a great communicator, and yeah, thanks for bringing it.
Well,
as
thank
you.
you.
Always do.
I'm glad. I'm always honored to be able to speak at those, and it's awesome to be involved in that. It's such an important weekend, and just to be invited is amazing. So I'm so glad that the people are having a great time to get involved there, which is fantastic, which I love.
Awesome. Father Alex was speaking too, so he's
sorry about that.
He's a phenom.
He is. I know.
No, you brought it all home. You're one of the biggest talks of the weekend, right?
It was long. Yeah, it's long. Yeah, that's one way to. Yeah, big in that it was long, but anyway.
Love that.
Hope everyone had a great experience. And I've been praying for the Alpha guests all weekend, so I hope it was an awesome time. A-OK.
That's right. So let's keep the prayers coming for Alpha guests.
Yeah.
Everybody who's either on Alpha, especially those who aren't there, keep praying for them because God's going to keep working in them this weekend, which is awesome. Question here from Colleen, who asks about if it is possible to have a healing mass these days. And I want to add my own question to it, which is, what is a healing mass? Well, Simon looks at Father Alex.
That is, as I often do, when I know the answer to questions, but want to give a chance to my associate pastor, I will defer to Father Alex.
There we go.
I don't want to hog the limelight.
What is a healing mass, Father Alex?
I guess,
come up sometimes.
Well, this is this is kind of an interesting thing. So technically, there's no, liturgically, there's no such thing as a healing mass.
Okay.
Right? Every mass is a healing mass.
What?
And so every
mass.
single time we celebrate mass, right, incredible grace is released into our lives and our hearts, and we can come with expectant faith that God will heal us. And I actually think that in some ways, like, we expect so little when we come to mass. Like, there's so much more that God wants to give us. And so if we come with expectant faith and really ask God, I think we would expect to see more healing, in fact. Now, there is a sort of a practice that exists out in the world where you can celebrate Mass for and have kind of additional healing prayers in the Mass. I went to some growing up, and they're really beautiful, and that sort of thing. So, yeah, what's the answer to the question, can we have a healing Mass? I don't know. We'll have to talk about that, I guess. It's a great idea. I think there's ways that we should be praying more intentionally and specifically for healing. And that should be kind of more normal, I think, in the life of our church.
And you know what? That is actually something that comes up on Alpha as well. So it's kind of appropriate we're talking about Alpha because that is part of it. Is that it's trying to establish more of a culture of praying for healing in that way. So it's good. I like how that question started with, there's no such thing as a healing mass, and we should maybe have more of them. So it's good. But it makes sense. The explanation was good. Thank you.
And I think, you know what? There's all kinds of moments for healing. Like, I mean, we're talking about communion, Jesus coming to us. Like, he is the source of healing, right? It's not us. We don't have the power apart from Jesus. And so I love Father Alex's answer. And so we should expect healing, and we might.
Almost had a guest here on the Digital Foyer.
We almost had a guest on the Digital Foyer. So she can come. She can be on the foyer if she wants. She's allowed to come.
That's okay.
Let the little children come.
Let the little children come.
A little bit. We have some children and music ministers coming here. Oh, look at this.
Here we go. Here we go.
Here she comes. Here she
we
comes.
go.
It's Rose.
This is famous. Here's my buddy.
Looks great.
Here's
Rose.
my buddy.
How you doing, sweetie?
Come on.
Look at you.
Come on
hey,
up.
There we go.
This is Rose. You want to wave to the camera? Wave to the camera so everybody can see it. Rose is one of my dear friends, one of our young disciples here at the parish. Who's your mom and dad? Sarah and Phil. Yes.
Very good.
Yes.
All right.
There we go.
All right. Take off there, little one.
There we go. Little musician
First
kids.
ever cameo on the Digital Foyer. There you go.
It's going to be great when she's hosting this in 20 years.
That's right.
I'm looking forward to that.
Is right.
That'll be great. I'll need a break.
What were we talking about? Healing masses.
Who knows at this point? I think we're past that. Quick question here before we get to the socks. Olatunde asked, I believe their son asked, what is your favorite place to go? That's from one of the kids here at the parish. What's your favorite place to go? Father Alex, are there golden arches at your favorite place to go?
Golden arches, they're up there. I think home to see my family. That's one of my favorite places to go. See mom and dad and my brothers and my sister and my nieces and nephews.
Nice. Father Simon, what's your favorite place to go to?
My favorite place to go? I would say probably the confessional, which is,
Wait, hold on.
this place that I just love to experience mercy. And I probably need to go to confession, which is why it's on my mind. But
you do.
Speaking of healing, you love providing the healing.
The sacrament of reconciliation is one of the sacraments of healing.
Are you referring to the fact that a week from Wednesday and Thursday we're going to have the Lenten reconciliation?
We actually are. Tuesday night we're going to be watching the. So next week is going to be my favorite place to go all week long. We're going to watch the Lenten the week after, a week from Tuesday.
Yeah.
Lenten drama, and then all day Wednesday, 10 to 5, we're going to have confessions here in the church. You got to sign up ahead of time. And then Thursday evening. And the reason why I was thinking about my favorite place, the confessional, was that somebody was asking the question in the chat, what if, I think the question is, what if you're not Catholic? Can you go to confession? And this person is asking for a friend. So I think we know what that means. But here's my hot take. And I don't know if Father Alex has experienced this. We never talk about what happens in confession because we're bound by the seal. So we literally can't talk to anybody about what we hear in confession. However, I'll say this in a generic way, in a faraway land, in a long time ago, I may or may not have experienced this, where people who are not Catholic have come to me on occasion, and the best thing to do is just to sit down and say, hey, Father, I'm actually not a Catholic. And so if you explain that right out front, then the priest can say, oh, great, well, welcome. Here's what we can do. We may or may not be able to celebrate the actual sacraments of reconciliation, but what we can do is still have like a beautiful, confidential experience of prayer where a person genuinely repents from their heart and can share, whatever sins that they're carrying with them. And the priest can pray that Jesus would forgive them. And so, again, it's different from the actual sacrament of reconciliation, but nevertheless, it could be a very powerful moment of repentance and forgiveness for the person. So I would encourage you, even if you're not Catholic, to come on out and just let the priest know ahead of time. So he's not like, you're not in the last 10 seconds, you're like, oh, by the way, Father, I wasn't Catholic, so just so he knows up front, and then he can kind of adapt to the situation.
Great. Well, I can't think of a good transition from profound act of repentance to, hey, let's look at your socks. But let's look at the socks. Every week here in the Digital Foyer, our priests have funny socks that they wear. And it's a bit of a competition. It's friendly competition, kind of like who's a better surfer, who's a better soccer player. And so friendly. We'll see the socks, and then you can vote in the comments, and we'll find out next week who won. Father Alex won by acclamation last week against Bill Scollard. What was the socks you had again?
I don't remember.
Was it Toad? I think maybe Toad from Super Mario and Super Mario Kart specifically. Yes. So anyway, gentlemen, show us your socks. Engines.
Yeah. These are not new, but bringing them back. These are Lenten appropriate. Purple dinosaurs being birthed from eggs, I guess. And according to an ancient era in church history, you might call it the Jurassic period of church history.
Yes.
Purple dinosaurs associated with Lent, so that's a great tradition.
I love that. Yeah. Are you birthed if you come out of an egg, or are you hatched? I guess hatched.
Yes, that's the word. Yeah.
I was thinking about it in real time. Father Simon, what do you got sock-wise, my man?
I have something new, never before witnessed.
Very cool.
Whoa. The UK, that classic phone booth that you see, the telephone booth in the UK. And so shout out to anybody from the UK who might be watching. Yeah. First of all, I hope you vote for these. Also, I just think of my second favorite place on earth, other than the confessional, would be a phone booth, because so much happens. There's communication, there's authentic connecting. Like, it's almost like magic when you think about how people can talk to each other from faraway lands, long before there were cell phones even. Superman, in a phone booth. Transformation.
Doctor Who.
That happened.
Time travel.
I was going to ask you
time
about
travel.
That's right.
Time travel.
So there's a lot that we can connect with
really
spiritually.
Deep. This is wow.
In a phone booth.
This is great.
He didn't get to preach today, so he's feeling. Can you do that? I guess you can always make ask people for your votes if you want to. Anyway, dinosaur socks, phone booth, TARDIS, Superman's change room. Vote for them. We'll see you later.